Hey everybody, I'm Kai Risdall. Welcome back to Make Me Smart, where we make today make sense. It makes sense. It is Friday the 6th of September today.
Welcome back, Kai.
Thank you, Kimberly.
I'm Kimberly Adams. I know, right? I'm Kimberly Adams. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the podcast. Also, if you're joining us on the YouTube live stream, we appreciate that as well. This is Economics on Tap.
We are going to do what we always do on a Friday. We'll do some news, play a game. We will also check the Discord and the chat for drinks. I will say right up front that if you're a regular listener to this podcast, or more importantly, a viewer of the YouTube live stream, you can tell I am not in my shed. I am not in my shed because it is 107 degrees on my front porch, which means the shed is like 125 easy. So I'm here in the air conditioning downtown.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry.
Yes.
We're actually starting to shift into a little bit of fall weather-ish here in DC, so it's nice and pleasant.
I was in Boston on Tuesday. I was in DC for about 15 hours on Wednesday. It was lovely. Lovely.
Oh, yeah, it was nice this week.
It was great.
What you drinking?
I'm drinking water. I do water. Got water in the studio. I've never actually had to try to get a beer in here. Pablo would probably yell at me, actually.
Don't tell Pablo what I have in the studio in DC. I am going out tonight, so I made myself an espresso martini.
Ho. Back up.
I don't have to go to work tomorrow, so I can go out tonight.
All right, there we are. Are we in reruns on C-SPAN? Is that what's going on?
I can also work on Sundays. I can also do Sundays.
Right.
It's fine.
All right. Well, that's probably true. Where are you going? What are you doing?
A friend of mine is a comedian. It was actually interesting. She just decided at some point, like right before the pandemic, that she wanted to get into improv. And then she went from improv into stand-up comedy, and now she like MCs all these events and does these shows.
Oh, good for her.
So she has a comedy show. I know.
So she's doing well,
and she's
right?
like, she's doing well. She's built this whole business. She ended up having a show at the Kennedy Center a while back.
No joke.
Mean, she's really doing it.
Let's get her the plug. What's her name?
Her name is Rola Zarour, and her show is called Funny Arabs, and she gets Arab American comedians from all over to come, and do these shows called Funny Arabs, and sometimes she also does a traumedy show, but this is a Funny Arab show that I'm going to tonight. And funnily enough, I met Rola when I was in Egypt because we were both there at the same time. Her ex-husband wrote a book on the Egyptian Revolution.
Oh, wow.
And he and I were out at the same stories together. And so like we all knew each other in Cairo, and now we're all in DC at the same time. And she like has her own business doing comedy shows and events and things like that. And he's still working with the AP.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Good for her. That's really cool.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. What are you drinking? Or did you already say and I missed it?
Espresso martini, because I got a rally.
You got Look, I hear you, man. I hear you. We used to do Kahlua because there's, coffee in there.
I was really torn if I wanted to put Kahlua in this espresso martini or Bailey's, because I did have the espresso liqueur, I had the vodka, I have my little foaming agent, which I didn't put enough in because it didn't foam. Yes, there are drops you can put into a drink to make it foamy instead of using egg whites, because I never keep eggs in my house because I don't like eggs.
You read my frowny face on the
I did read your frowny face.
I was not frowny, confused. I was confused.
Anyway, but I decided to add a little dash of Bailey's to it to make it flavorful. So awesome. You've got water.
Yep.
Let's see what everybody else is drinking over in the chat. Let's see. Paul is having a Castle Cream Ale from Castle Danger Brewery in Two Harbors, Minnesota. Rich and chocolatey. Lovely.
Nice.
Filling.
Very nice. Flipping Out is having a Madras, which is vodka cranberry with a splash of orange juice. Probably refreshing. Let's see. Ali Gomez from Cincinnati, Ohio. A lovely amber ale from the local Mad Tree Brewery. Nice.
Yeah. I see all the comments about the cat, but he made his little appearance and he ran away.
Yeah, he's no show pony.
He's not. He's like, boy. Chuck in the chat is asking me if I know the story behind Uncle Nearest whiskey. And yes, I do know the story behind Uncle Nearest whiskey. Do you know this story, Kai?
I do not.
So basically, it was an enslaved man in Kentucky who taught Jack Daniels how to
Is that
brew
right?
whiskey.
Wow.
Yes, and this woman named Fawn Weaver, I believe is her name. She actually just came out with a book about this experience. She learned the story of the man they called Uncle Nearest, who was supposedly like the best brewer in the area and taught Daniels how to make whiskey and all these things.
Hmm.
And she came up with her own brand of whiskey and started a distillery called Uncle Nearest. So if you go to the store, you can buy it, and it's really good whiskey. I've had it before.
That's excellent.
Yeah,
That's a good story. It's a good story.
yeah,
Should we do
yeah, yeah.
some
Let's get
news,
to some stories.
etc.? What do you got?
Two stories. First of all, a fun one. Shout out to Carrie Barber, who is one of our amazing editors at Marketplace, who is constantly saving me from stupid errors like little typos and things on the regular. But today she sent me a story about, I had not seen a space story that, and here's the headline: Saturn's majestic rings will vanish in just 6 months
What?
from now.
Oh, shut up.
Yes, right, right, right. It's a temporary thing, but
Are they
apparently
going to go
this
sideways?
phenomenon occurs due to the unique tilt of Saturn's
Yeah,
axis, which will position the rings edged on
yeah,
our line of
yeah,
sight.
yeah.
And this happens every 29.5 years, which is how long it
Oh,
takes
wow.
Saturn to orbit the sun. And
Wow.
so so this is going to happen in March of 2025. They'll become virtually invisible to Earth-based observers, and they will, after March 2025, they'll bring back into view. They'll vanish again in November of 2025. Super
That's
cool.
cool. That's a cool
Love
story.
space.
That's a cool story.
Yeah, it is a cool story. My other is less cool, but interesting and important to know how the government works. The Associated Press and others have this news. The Treasury Department has recovered $1.3 billion in unpaid taxes from high wealth tax
Mm-hmm.
dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Part of what was it? It was the Inflation
Yep.
Reduction Act had additional funding for IRS, which caused a big stink, especially among Republicans who were
Yes.
like, they're going to use it to go after small business
Yeah.
owners.
Yeah.
And what actually happened is they went after tax dodgers, and it
Right.
has yielded funding. The IRS is consistently one of the places in government where all the research shows if you invest money, you get money back,
Yep.
and like by large margins.
By very large margins. Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
$80 billion. I think part of it got clawed back for something, or they tried to, but it was a chunk of money, and it's a classic you got to spend money to make money thing, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
truly,
Yeah.
truly.
What you got?
So I've got two. One is a little personal because I've been aced out of status on United for a long time now, since before the pandemic, which is a whole long story, but I won't bore you. But
Hmm.
the Department of Transportation is launching an investigation into airline rewards programs at the four largest airlines. That, of
Saw
course,
that
is
story.
American, United, and Delta, and one more who I can't remember, probably Southwest, yes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for anti-competitive practices and potentially unfair, deceptive, or anti-competitive practices. Look, those rewards programs are a racket, and what's been happening in the last 3-ish years is that they've ratcheted them up so that you can never ever get status. I used to be a ride
Mm-hmm.
and die United guy, and every now and then I would get myself an upgrade, but mostly I would just be able to get premium economy because, ooh, an extra inch and a half of legroom. But
And you're
it's
tall. You need that.
yeah. Anyway, so it's just good to see. I mean, look, Buttigieg is an activist, Department of Transportation secretary. He goes after a lot of people for a lot of things. More power to
Mm-hmm.
him. We'll see if this goes anywhere, but I thought that was interesting, just on a very personal note. Number two, and we're doing a little public service journalism here today. In case you didn't know it, today is National 401k Day. In the way these things go, right? Everybody gets a holiday,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I just want to say out loud, given the week that Wall Street has had, and given the shakiness and jitteriness in the equities markets the last number of weeks, don't day trade your 401ks. Don't day trade your 401ks. Invest for the long haul. Put your money in there. Always take the company match to the maximum.
Mm-hmm.
Always. It's free money, but let it sit there. That's what it's for. Do not touch your 401k and look at it on days like this because you will get scared and it will bum you out. But don't do that. That's all I'm saying.
I so rarely look
Same
at
here.
the balance on the 401k.
Mm-hmm.
They I did do one of those calls a couple weeks ago where they just like have you talk to an advisor just to like make sure you're in the right place that you're supposed to
Right,
be
right, right.
and things like that. But
Once a year, maybe twice.
um yeah, yeah, but just you gotta, and I mean if you're lucky enough to have it,
Yep, yep. A lot of
and
people don't. That is true.
yeah, I was at a breakfast day before yesterday with a woman who at the AARP who has a forthcoming book coming out called The Next 50 about sort of your finances and money and
Mm-hmm.
policy after, you turn 50, and was talking about, just how many people have no retirement
Yeah,
and so
it's a lot.
little retirement as to be effectively meaningless,
Exactly.
with the rising costs. So if you're lucky enough to have it, use it, but don't look at it.
Exactly. That. All right. We are done with the news such as it was. We're going to take a quick break and a round of half full, half empty coming up.
I so rarely drink vodka drinks that I always forget like that it's in there. It's in there. You can't really taste it, but it's in there because
It
I'm
is
just
in
like, oh,
there.
this is so tasty.
You
Sip,
are
sip, sip.
sipping away. You
And
are
then I was just
sipping
like,
away. All right,
oh,
wait. So it's quarter to
right.
7 now on a Friday night there. What time are you going out?
As soon as I'm done, it's
Oh,
like
are
down
you?
the
Oh,
street. So I'm
all
gonna
right.
book it. The show
Okay.
starts at 7, so I
Oh,
gotta I
well,
gotta
all right.
move.
Well, in that case, Jesus, what are we doing? Come on.
All right, so we are back. It's time for Half Full, Half Empty, hosted by our very own Drew Jostad. Drew, take it away.
First topic this week comes from the Make Me Smart newsletter. The National Football League will be allowing private equity firms to acquire stakes in football teams. Are you half full or half empty?
I truly have no strong opinion on this. I do, however, love that when this first broke about a week, 10 days ago, the NFL said to these private equity firms, yeah, we want part of your carry on this. We want part of the slice of that investment, which is just really interesting because the way private equity makes money is they get part of the returns, but they also get a fee from the investors up front. And I think it's great that the NFL was like, you know what? Sauce, goose, gander, we're taking some of your cut right the heck up front.
So much of what you just said made no sense to me.
Well, it's about the NFL screwing private equity guys like private equity guys screw their investors. That's what it's
Okay,
like.
thank you.
There you
That's
go.
helpful.
There you go.
I'm half empty. I feel like anything that has private equity in it at this point, I'm gonna go half
Yeah,
empty.
that's not unreasonable. Although I don't imagine that they will be. Well, they will not be able to get controlling shares, so they won't be able to refinance them and then squeeze them and force them into bankruptcy. But
I believe
yeah,
they're capped at 10%.
yeah, there you go. There you go. Capped at 10%. All right.
All right, what's next?
Are you half full or half empty on Olympians being on Dancing with the Stars?
Oh
Alona
yeah,
Mar! I
Ilona
am so
Maher,
excited.
the awesome rugby player.
This will make me watch the show, which I don't think I've ever actually watched a season of Dancing with the Stars,
Hmm.
but I will 100% watch her.
Yeah, she's a
So I'm all the
badass.
way full,
Yeah,
all the
totally,
way full. And
100%.
also, congrats to all the Paralympians. I know we're winding down. I've got my decoration still up. I've been watching. It's been just like unbelievably astonishing watching these athletes do their thing. So yay to Team
Yep,
USA for the last final push, last couple days.
all the way around. Truly, truly, truly. Drew, what do you got?
All right, with more than 10,000 hotel workers going on strike last weekend, among their demands is a return to daily room
Hmm.
cleaning. Are you half full or half empty on daily cleaning at hotels?
Okay, so provided two things. Number one, you hang up your towels because you don't need a fresh towel every day, people, right? Number
Hmm.
two, um, leave a tip. Leave a tip.
I was at a hotel in New York 3 weeks ago. I forget. Time is meaningless at this point. But they had a really cool feature where there was a card on the table
Yep.
that said who cleaned your room to
Hmm.
set it up for you, and you could scan the QR code and tip that person through their like
Hmm.
Venmo or
Hmm.
something like that,
Hmm.
which I thought was really cool because a lot of times, you want to leave a tip, but if you leave cash, it's like, oh, well, it's the person who set up the room, the person who's going to
Hmm.
get the tip, and
Hmm.
if you're only staying there for one night and this, that, and the other. So anyway, I don't feel like most of my stays at a hotel need daily room cleaning, to be honest, but I am in favor of tipping the workers. And so I guess I'd have to be half empty because I think
So
like every other day or every 2 days would be fine.
I agree with you fundamentally on most hotel rooms, right? I mean, it's not like I'm having ragers
Mm-hmm.
in my hotel room every night, but here's the labor market part of this, right?
Sure you're not.
What happened during the pandemic was that hotels cut back on the number of cleanings, thus
Mm-hmm.
they were able to cut back on the number of people. So the thing these
Yeah.
union workers want is more cleaning so that there will be more people employed. And with hotel profits where they are, which is high,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know, I think it's not unreasonable for them to hire more people.
A couple of folks in the chat saying, like even if you have fewer workers, at least pay them a living wage,
Yeah.
right? Fair. Somebody asked me, how much do I tip? I typically tip, if I'm tipping in a hotel, um, anywhere from $10 to $15. At this particular hotel in New York, I tipped $15.
Yeah.
That's what I tipped.
Yeah, for me, I do typically $5 a night, so it's usually I'm in 2 night hotel stays are for a lot for me, so 2 or 3 nights, $15. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All
Drew.
right. What's next?
Half full or half empty on adults cashing in on lemonade stands.
I don't know.
Okay, so you were out for this story, but basically, I think Kristen interviewed somebody who had written a story about how adults are basically setting up lemonade stands at like festivals and farmers markets, and it's sort of like the food truck thing, but for lemonade, sometimes boozy lemonade or fancy lemonade,
Oh,
and making a killing at this. And I'm here to support people's hustle. I always feel a little weird about like, you know, I look, I was a Girl Scout. I sold the cookies. I did all the little fundraisers for school, but like a lemonade stand just always felt a little unsanitary to me with children and like it just like I'll buy it, but I won't drink it. Just 'cause I'm that person. Anyway, so I'm half full on people having successful businesses in general.
there you
And I
go.
don't think I don't think the people who would buy lemonade from kids are going to stop buying lemonade from kids because they can get fancy lemonade at, a farmer's market.
Right, right. Anyway,
Oh,
I think it's
wait.
fine. I'm half full.
Susanna Romig in the chat says, I wish the Make Me Smart team would support my Girl Scout. Drop a link. We all need cookies.
Yeah,
Drop a link in the
there you
chat,
go.
Susanna.
There you go. All right, Drew, what's next? Is this the poll question, Drew?
We got the poll question.
All right, we got the poll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
So everybody votes on this one with
Everybody vote.
several examples of this genre coming out this fall, including Wicked and the Joker sequel. Are you half full or half empty on movie musicals?
Oh, sorry. Wait, I can't say anything yet. I mean, I can, but
Yes,
I
you
can't really tell people
can.
how I
Yes, you
feel. I can't
can.
tell people how I feel, can I?
Sure, you can. We
All
all
right.
care about your feelings, Kai.
Well, no, I was just gonna say. I mean, look, everybody who listens to this program is an adult, and they can make up their own damn mind, no matter what I say. So here's what I think. Wicked is a musical, so if you make a movie of Wicked, you are making a musical of a movie musical, and that's just kind of the definition, right?
It was a book first.
Well, yes, but you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
Work with me here, right? It was a
Okay,
book first,
sorry, I'm working
right?
with you.
But
Okay.
let's go back to God. What's his name? Frank Brown, right? Who wrote The Wizard of Oz?
Oh,
Anyway, I mean, if you want to go way
yeah.
back, right? You want to go way
Yeah,
back.
The
it was a
Wizard
book.
of Oz and
Okay.
the actual
Oh,
book.
right.
Got it.
Also, The Joker was a comic book first, so everything goes back to the written word because that's just the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, so let me get back to my train of thought. Wicked was a musical, and if you make a movie of it, it's a movie musical. Joker
Mm-hmm.
was not a musical, right? There was no musical of
Not
it
as
on
far as I know.
Broadway, and so if you make a movie of it, you're making a movie into a movie musical, and I don't know. Half empty. That's where I am. I'm not being very literate today.
So I am just so excited to see Cynthia. I think her last name is pronounced Erivo.
Cynthia Erivo, she's amazing. I saw her at the Hollywood
Yes,
Bowl a couple years ago.
I just, oh my gosh, her
Yeah.
voice is amazing. I'm So excited to see her in this role. I mean, I love Ariana Grande. She's also amazing, but I'm very excited for this combo. I loved, their sort of outfits at the Met Gala, and I know that the Met Gala is problematic in its own way and everything like that, but that may actually get me to like leave my house and go to the movie theater. I love musicals. My mom was a big musical person. I have really positive memories of like our family watching musicals together on like the old movie channel and everything like that. And so I'm half full on musicals and letting these actors showcase different parts of their talent that they might not get to show otherwise.
Yeah,
So
I think
yeah,
that's fair.
I'm a fan.
All right,
So
there
half
we go.
full. So let's close the poll and see how everybody else did.
Poll
Oh, they
is
already did.
closed. There we go.
Almost 70% on half full. Okay. I like it.
Wow, look at that. Look at that. Interesting comments here. People have feelings about this. People totally have feelings about this.
I mean, that's the point. We want to have feelings.
That is the point.
All of
We
us
do want to have
feelings.
feels.
Yes.
There we go.
All right. Well, boom. I am about to go. That is it for us today. We are going to be back on Monday. Look, I'm trying to go out.
I hear
don't
you.
always get
I
to
hear
go
you.
out on
No, I
Friday
got you. We're
nights.
getting you out of here in 21 minutes. I get it. Go.
Excellent. We'll be back on Monday. Until then, send us your comments, your questions, your suggestions. Always taking a good cocktail recommendation. We are at 508 UB Smart. You can email us at makemesmart@marketplace.org.
Make Me Smart is produced by Courtney Bergshiger. Today's episode was engineered by Charlton Thorpe.
The team behind our Friday game is Emily McCune, Jamila Huxtable, and Antoinette Brock. Marissa Cabrera is our senior producer. Bridget Bodner is the director of podcast, and Francesca Levy is the executive director of digital and on demand. I was looking for the link for the Girl Scout cookies. That's why I got distracted.
It's coming. All right. There you go. Hit it. Have a good time out tonight.